do that at? Where they do that at? I say where they do that at? Where they do
I'm
that
pushing the Rari, rented, I'm eating money like spinach. I'm dripped in Louis and Gucci, you know I'm ballin' in Linens up at Plaza, holla. You don't want no problems, I fully automatic, no revolver. Swallow a couple shells from Bettie, Baracco, Llama. When I blow that chopper, I'm Parda, I'm Marva. Niggas who are robbers, off the rocker. Nigga meet the father, I'm Papa. Biggie with a sweat like I'm from Harlem. No nigga, I'm from NC with a sweat like no Charlotte. Your baby, mama, yep, she bout to swallow. Call her, but she will not answer cause she bothered.
My motivation would come from my mother, my family, but definitely my mother. I've been with my mother since she was a baby. I was a baby. My mother was 15, 16, and I was in her stomach. And I've been with my mother through pretty much everything in her life. I was there when my mother walked across the stage and graduated. I was in her stomach. Not too long after that, I was in her stomach when she got married to my father. She wasn't even able to smoke yet, or legally buy cigarettes, if I should say. My mother came from a family, we lived in the house when I was born. I stayed in the house with my grandmother, my grandfather, I think my 3 uncles, 2 aunts. I had a cousin that was in the house, my cousin Sean. There's about 9 of us in the house. And my father wasn't staying with us, but they were married. And I have vague memories, my beginning stages, but most of my father. Maybe more when I was 4 or 5, but before that, I was with my mother. And I watched her work. I watched her carry 3 jobs. Less than a year later, she had my first sister. Maybe a year or so after that, she had another one of my sisters. So she might have been 19 with 3 kids. I remember being 3, and I never forget it. We were in Petersburg, Virginia at the time, and I remember walking with my mother, short guy, baby, fresh out of diapers, and walking with her to the convenience store to buy Similac for my 1-year-old sister. And the snow had to be about 1.5 feet, and it was halfway up my body. Every time I took a step, my mother had to grab my arm and yank me out the snow, to take another step. And I was really playing the part of my father. I was my mother's husband, son, brother, friend. I watched her work 2 or 3 jobs, go to school. I watched her struggle to maintain what she had. My father was good. My father came up in the same times, like he would tell me a story. My father was doing that same Boston George time. He would tell me the story. You had to get stuff from that same situation, son. And I remember being 4 or 5 years old, and I would open up drawers, the old school drawers, like the big drawers they had in your mama nail houses, I would say, your Mima, and the big drawers, and be money to the top, and I remember my mother having to fight him for $20, because he was so tight. He just loved the money, and it was crazy because I was his firstborn. I was his boy. To this day, like, you my boy.
Separation is never good. Don't get me wrong, but our relationships, our trust, there was things I had to mend back together because, again, when you're young and you don't get, the whole story, it's a trust thing. And then, by me being away, so just communication kept it. And then, you can always speak, but your actions always speak louder than words. So you always have a chance to show me or show the person, when you can. And and I did, and I chose to go a different, route to make sure that my family was balanced, my children were getting the balance again before I, stepped out with my career after that, because that was the most important thing, to repair the collateral damage that I had put on my children.
Really, I would be in my house and it was nothing for me to see piles of cocaine or piles of marijuana on tables and triple beams. I remember, me and my cousin, watched one of our uncles, pretty much almost have a heart attack. I've seen people actually pass out and, I've seen terrible things. I've seen things, I watched my father, get high, watched my father get money. My sisters, my cousins, watched them go on trips and, I was a young boy, I watched my father, I was in court when my father got sentenced. I watched him get sentenced 10 years federal time. And it really bothered me because I didn't have much time with my father because he was always on the road. Miami, Florida, New York, the fight. And I would watch my mother, at home struggling with us. So I always wanted to have something more for her. At first it was basketball. I played AAU. I was the number one point guard, in my age bracket from about 6.5, 7 to 11. I always played up. Just wanted to have something more for my mother. Just wanted to have something more for my sisters, for my family. We were poor. My mother would always, act as if we were rich or middle class. In her mind, it was we okay. We got a place to stay. If I got to go to Crisis and make sure we got some off-brand Fruit Loops in the house, we gonna eat tonight. But it don't matter. And we hated them. I would take care of my house. We were a latchkey family. I learned how to iron at about 6 years old. I was coming home by myself, was in charge of having a kid at 5, coming home and knocked all my teeth out at 5 years old because I was at home by myself outside playing, jumped off a fence thinking I was Superman and knocked all my fronts out my mouth, because my mother was at work working 2 jobs. But she motivated me. I guess you could say from the time I came into this world, I was destined to be something.
Jesus, just look at my freeze cuffs. Got them gasping for air like they took puffs. Timid, I'm fly, I could kiss Venus. I'm so vain and I'm feeling myself.
What sets me apart? Who I am. My music is true. And not to say that music isn't true, but I guess you could say if you had Jack and the Beanstalk, or whatever, I had a bean. I had nothing. I had no investors. I had no direction or anybody to tell me this is how you make music, this is how you make a company, this is how you get people to believe in you. My story is different from theirs because I'm actually living it. I actually made Bettie grind into a brand that not just people in my city recognize, but people across the country recognize, that labels recognize, that DJs recognize. And not to take anything from any artist that's aspiring to be in my position or better, but this is real actual fact. Tastemakers and labels know who I am, and they may not know who other artists are. But definitely my drive, my ambition, the way my team works. I am only as strong as the next link. And Hood Superstar, on times I wanted to quit, they've been there and said, keep going, we can make another hit. Keep going, make more music, get in that studio. My team is so different because my team is real. My team is real love, is real brotherhood. We are, I haven't seen anything like us.
500 bands on the apartment. A little over $250,000 fucking with poppin'. He threw me one for everyone I bought him poppin'. I got 100 bands on my neck. It's super good. We the best.
There are a lot of different reasons why I haven't signed. Some would say I'm stupid. Some would say, he got 5,000 spins on radio and he don't have a deal yet. But see, our plan is different. When I sign, it's gonna make a difference for the Carolinas. Because when I sign, it's gonna set a precedence of what we will accept. Before me, they accept anything. Before me, they need it. For whatever reason they've done it. In my situation, it's different. If I wasn't Bettie Grind, a rising hip-hop star, what would I be doing? Some of my boys from North Charlotte might say a couple different things. Some of my West Side boys, some of my people's up the way, you know what I mean? The northern, eastern parts of America and the southern parts, some of my West Coast niggas.
Hey nigga, I be hustling, making my cheese. You be amazed at what I got in my jeans. I be hustling, made something out of nothing.
Man, if I wasn't rapping, man, I love this, man. This burns a passion in my soul, man. I love it, man. I love to create. I love to try to be the best. I love hip-hop, music. But if I wasn't doing this, man, I'm an entrepreneur. But if I wasn't rapping, man, I would own parts of this city. My friends are motivated. Business guys as well. That's why they're involved in this, because they see this is definitely a investment to be in. Bettie Grind, the brand, Hood Superstar, the label. But I don't know. We probably have a couple laundromats, some trucking companies, transportation, probably tobacco shops, doing some investments, some stocks, doing something with kids definitely, because myself and my manager's Champ, we have a big heart for kids. I beats in school, I've been to Street Academy, and cats will tell you I was bad, man. Get put out of school, I learned from it, but keep your circle positive. I had a lot of cats that was around me that wasn't for me, it wasn't for my situation, and now a lot of them, now that I'm succeeding, trying to come back around or envy or like I said, they hate, and the most important thing to remember when you're a new artist, man, just remain yourself, be you. This industry is full of so many devils, man, there's a million devils for every angel. And everybody has their own motive with you, So everybody wants to make you into a mold for themselves, which would, in some situations would cause you to get away from the artist that grabbed everybody's attention. When you come in this game, you're fresh and you're new, and that's what separates you. That is what makes an artist is being different. Maintain its forces of dominating the order among, in America and in the world. We're definitely going to need some more pioneers. Hip hop is. I love hip hop because from the beginning stages of hip hop in the early '80s up until now, into the new millennium, you've always had your dance type of rappers, your funny rappers, your Fresh Princes. You have those now. You have your Nick Cannons. You just have hip hop is it's the same thing. So I'm never mad, but people get mad because they're it's too much dancing, it's too much this and that. That's what makes hip hop hip hop. This journey we've been on is crazy. Every day is something different. Right now we got the album coming, we got T.G.F.C, Thank God for Crack, Volume 1, Jesus. I'm working on some single I just left from the studio with Drummer Boy. We're working on my next single. I have what it's gonna be on the radio now, which is a single. Right now we kind of in a million different directions, We got the album coming out, the documentary, got another mixtape that's gonna come after that. Hood Superstar, Bettie G, man, just business. more artists. You know, we got Gracie Ray. She's a model of ours, and she just landed King magazine, 12 pages. You know, Nicki Minaj on the cover. She'll be in Jet magazine in March. You know, she did Double XL, Eye Candy. Getting her more branded. She wants to act. I'm acting in videos now. We got the new video we just did. What it's gonna be. We got a couple more videos we're gonna shoot, push. Hood Superstars gonna try to do a little bit more business things outside of just music. But right now we just working, man.
Hey mama, I ain't about no drama. I'm about treating you good, trips to Bahamas. You ill Nana, Foxy, I'm Big Papa. You be my patient and Bettie, you play a doctor. I think you hot, so let's do it like Waka Flocka. Baby, I'm ballin' these other just soccer. You like Tiffany Blue, well I'ma rock ya. Christian Lou.
Being the mainstream producers, man, it's been it's surreal. You know, I mean, to come from Charlotte, #1, where you kind of boxed in. You know, you're not expected to deal with people who actually own. You know what I mean? Because they just don't feel like, you know, we there. You know, we don't feel like we there. Like we're teaching ourselves to believe. Working with Drummer was like man, like being with the first time I was in the studio with Drummer. First one was we was in Grand Hustle. T.I. was on papers. You know, we was in there and the U.S. Marshals came in, me and Champ in there. You know, it was just like first one when we met him at Atlantic Station. Darting through the city, you know, we behind him like me and Champ like this is, you know, like we went through Atlanta. We followed by Drummer Boy. At the time he got I Put On the radio. He got Rick Ross on the radio. Here I Am, like he got about 4 records on the radio. They're smashing. Like yo, we hit the studio with Drummer Boy, man. Like, and it's like it wasn't like we headed to the studio with Drummer Boy. It's like we headed to the studio with Drummer Boy. Like this our nigga. Like he cool.
Yeah, it's your boy Drummer, man. You already know how we do, man. I'm right here with my guy, Bettie G. You know what I mean? Bettie Grind, the one and only, man. Damn it, I'm fly. Birthday extravaganza, bash, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I mean? Memphis gonna be in that motherfucker. Hey, boy. 100.
T.G.F.C. The title for T.G.F.C, man, it was a discussion between, I came up with the title, man, Thank God for Crack. I wanted something that would stun the public. Make them like, what? Did he just name my album Thank God for Crack? Is he really thanking God for crack? I can't believe he's, is he blasphemous? You know, I had a nigga call me blasphemous before too. Fuck nigga. You know, but that's, I'm gonna leave that alone. But Thank God for Crack, man, was just like, it was real. You know what I mean? Like, recession, drought. You know, I knew niggas who really was in the streets, who really was suffering. Their family was suffering. Because some people, that's how they live. You know, that's how they manage. That's how they get their medicine. You know, that's how groceries get bought. That's how Christmas is there. That's how the rent get paid. You know, so when that's not around, you know what I mean? Like, things fall apart. You know, the economy fell apart from, you know, black people not being able to go out and purchase like we purchase. And I ain't saying that it's right. And I'm not really thanking God for crack in that sense. You know what I mean? But it was kind of like a situation that was real. Like, I really know niggas who really, when something came through, niggas like, man, thank God. Like, you know, I can go and do something. You know what I mean? My girl got cancer, I can get her medicine she needs is $300 a week. You know, it was just a real title to make, you know, and at the same time it was like, you know, Chuck was like, we gotta put a spin on it, Bettie. Like, I feel you, but we gotta put a spin on it. You know, kind of like how black people took nigga and made it theirs. We took it back from white people and made it ours, and they can't use it no more, but we can use it because it's ours now. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, well, let's take crack. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing that first one was they pushed on us. You know, put it, you know, we down and we counted out. You know, you give us something to make us forget this, take us into a euphoria to make us forget where we at, that we in the slums and we from nothing. You know, a lot of people weak and they do, you know, they succumb to certain things, and that's what happened. You know what I mean? And he was like, we gotta spin it. So we found an acronym for us. We went through hell to find an acronym for it, you know what I mean? But it was right. It was like God was telling us, like, and I prayed on that situation because people was asking me all the time, like, how you gonna make that album called that? Man, that ain't right, man. You supposed to be telling that by God. I'm like, I love God, man. Don't get me wrong. Like, I talk to God every day. I prayed on it. I made sure God didn't tell me, like, if God never told me, like, he never said, no, don't make this album that title. And I ain't talked to him like I really, like, God, like, we got a relationship. You know, like, I'm here today because of him. So, you know, thank God for crack, man. It's like we came up with, like, you know what? Thank God for crack. Let's square the A. Thank God for creating rap as an alternative against crime and killing. And I'd be damned if that ain't what it's doing for me. If it wasn't for this music, I would be committing crimes 9 times out of 10 or killing somebody. So this is my distraction from destruction. You know, so at the same time as we spin it, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't stay in the darkness. We kind of brought the light to it. You know, so I call it T.G.F.C. Because I got tired of answering the damn question for people, to be honest with you. You know, just listen, just buy the album. You know, T.G.F.C. What's that mean? Get down. You know, maybe we thank God for crack. I don't know what it is. You know, but just thank God for crack, man. You know, T.G.F.C. man, Volume 1, Jesus. And I'm not saying I'm Jesus, man, because I think that I'm, you know, my father's son. You know, Jesus is J-Hove, I'm Jesus for sure. Like, if J's Hove, you know, I'm close thing to it, man. Like, these boys ain't nothing for me. I'm talking to every last rapper out there. Really. Buy my mixtape, download them, I'm on that free. I go bar for bar, man. But thank God for crack, man.
Winners never quit. Quitters never win.
Fuck Epic.
Betty, I know you got a lot of shit to say, man. A lot of shit to
We
say.
supernatural, nigga.
Speak!
Jesus, welcome, I'm your main feature. I think the mic gon' come, verbal secretions. I'm high off life, as spirit reefers. Blow on it, nigga, I'm so on it. Betty Mayweather's here, fuck any opponent. I'm in my zone, the real royalty's home. And I am Betty Jesus, the only heir to the throne. Floating, I'm at this world, E.T. go home. Only nigga I fear is in my mirror alone. Mama didn't condone me trafficking drugs through a home. A year later, she threw me 4 zones. Say, baby, I got a plug from GA and put me on. See me, this all I know is like I'm Eskimo snow. No homo, but see, all I know is blow. Get a straw, cause all I know is cold. Toss some rock in that glass and it'll go. I was worth about a half, now I'm headed to the M. Bim, yeah, nigga, I'm about that life. Been in bed, you couldn't trace my life. So many units, you need a U-Haul to move it. 4 boxes on, watch how we do it. Chase Chancellor, Capone Corleone, Fresh Castation, what up, John John? Hood superstar, this is the movement. I hate me too if I was losing. Shit, I hate me too if I was you and you. Motherfucking haters. Mad cause I stay with the green like I'm a gator. Mad cause I need binoculars to see my neighbors. Cause I live in the sky like Betty Elroy. Damn it, I'm fly. Yeah, boy. So keep it up with the rumors. The big fish don't associate with tuna. This real rich Louis don't run around with boomers. I'm Christian Louboutins, men's foolish. Somebody give me a rag, the mic's drooling. I'm proving, nigga, Frank Mullen. I'm sorry, Roy, I gotta address these fucking haters. Y'all gon' get pregnant around my dick, no thank ya. That same rope y'all tryna pull me fucking down with, I guarantee it's gon' hang ya. That bullshit y'all talking is gon' stain ya. And I'm still #1, middle finger. This chestnut checkers, I'm still a king high.